Okay, so today's plan has been posted. Anyone who's having problem with TOS, let Carlene join. She uses TOS here. Rodriguez, do you have any issues with TOS? I believe you use it as well. I don't see Aaron saying anything about it in the morning, so I'll let you guys know. Uh, hey, Alex, welcome. All right, so let's go over the plan for QQQ really quick for day trading and scalping in particular. Just like yesterday, I am generally not interested in forcing anything into today. I'm mostly waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow we got CPI, we got Powell, which means we got volatility. If you're day trading, volatility is something which you actually need. The last thing you want is to get stuck around with these kind of choppy mess which has been going around. Into today, the only level, the two levels in particular, which I'm interested in is number one, is that 18,980s to the downside, which will be equivalent to that of the 461.50. If they can pull back towards this level, well, that is going to be something which I'll be paying attention to, number one. And number two, if they lose it, the next level will be at the level which we were watching for yesterday, which is 460.50, which will be, if you're trading NQ, that'll be around 18,940. Two levels to the downside, which is 18,980 and 18,940, which will be $461.80 and change and $460.60 and change. If the price can get towards this level by today, we can long the tape, and that 460.50 is also coinciding with the 5-day moving average right now, which is currently starting to slope to the upside. And let's see if we can get it 461.50 or 460.60 into today. And that's the place where I'm interested in establishing a counter trend trade to the upside by NQ longs, or if you want to trade options, that's going to be QQQ calls from that 460.50 or 461.80-ish and change to the upside for a potential reversal sort of trade. Those are the only two levels which I'm interested in. If it offered, I will take it. If not, I'm generally not interested in day trading QQQ today. I'm more interested in trading them into tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be having two of these live streams, where one in the morning until like 11, and then the one shows up after Powell after 2 o'clock. We'll trade the post-Powell volatility as well. But for today, take it slow, save some money, have some buying power left for tomorrow's trading session. So we're going to get some nice volatility. And we'll try to take advantage of the same tomorrow. Into today, we're only looking for base hits, and I'm only interested in taking the trade if 461.80 or 460.60 is offered to the downside for a counter trend trade to the upside on QQQ. On swing trading positions, we had a few positions opened yesterday. Number one was TDW. And if TDW pulls back towards this 103.80 by open, and then recapture the VWAP, we'll average up and complete the position and move our stop losses up towards this 101.50. Our initial stop loss on this name is at 999.50 for now, by the way. We only exposed our portfolio to like 1% risk of our overall portfolio with this position so far. And if they pull back towards this 103.80 and start bouncing, we'll add more to complete our positions on TDW. If you haven't established your positions yesterday, 103.80 and change, pull back towards this level will give you another opportunity to like establish new positions on. Something to keep in mind, the ticker symbol is TDW, Tidewater. This is number one. And number two, we're looking at is dominoes. As long as if they pull back towards this 524 and hold at 524 levels and then start pushing back to the upside, well, remember we actually sized down a while back. That's where we're interested in like sizing up again, buying back whatever we sized down before. So let's see how it goes, and we'll give it some time for dominoes. And as long as they hold about this 525 to like 523.50 zones and start bouncing up and recover the VWAP, we'll size up accordingly. And make sure you have at least like 1 day trade left, because if you're sizing up on something, depending on how we close, we might have to make some changes down the line throughout the end of the day, because we got CPI in the morning. The last thing we need is exposing our portfolio to so much risk and then the market completely turning back around. So have at least 1 or 2 day trades left. If you're using margin account, if you're using cash account, you don't have to worry about it. If you're using margin account, just make sure you have at least like 1 or 2 day trades left if you're going to add more or average up on a position. These TDW, dominoes, all these stocks doesn't react much with the broader market. TDW little bit way too less competitive of Domino's. Domino's might move with the QQQ, but Tidewater is on its own. So that's something to keep in mind. TDW and Domino's is something which we will be paying close attention to into today for averaging up. And the ADI, similar scenario. We opened a small position on this name yesterday. If they can clear this $236 zones, we'll consider averaging up. The only risk which you need to be paying attention to is tomorrow morning's data drop. ADI moves with QQQ, by the way. So be careful of averaging up on this name. We didn't discuss about this one in particular because I want to wait until tomorrow to average up. Even if it goes higher into today, good, let it go up. Keep the sizing exactly the same. Our current risk is 1% so far, and I'll let you guys know by the close. Depends on how they close. We will think about either sizing that down even further to like 0.5% rather than having it at 1%. But for now, keep it at 1. And what's the next one? Bros acting like shit. Yeah, they did. And they had a $88 million share offering yesterday. So can't do much about it. So news like this can tend to push the stock price down. But are they still above the 5-day moving average? That is the question. Yeah, they're still above the 5-day. So watch out for this 38.40 to that $38 zones to the downside in case of a pullback, which they are having right now. If you want to buy this, let them pull back towards the 5-day moving average. And if they start finding buyers and recover the VWAP, well, that's where you're going to add back to your positions. Oh, no, I understand. Because especially if you're in shares and then you see the company like announcing share offering or whatever it is, it can be frustrating. I totally understand. So for now into today, watch out for this 5-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $38. And we'll take it from there. Depends on how the price reacts around the $38 zone. What is the zone we're waiting for on NQ? On NQ, we're waiting for 18,980. If they break it, 18,940 to the downside. Those are the only two levels which I'm watching for, 18,980 and 18,940. If they can pull back towards that level and find buyers, we'll take it from there. And for SPY, it'll be what, 530 is what we were watching for yesterday. 531.56, the same level on watch into today as well. If they can pull back towards 531.56 into today, I'll go long for a scalp-worthy trade towards that 532 and change, but 532.60 and change, almost like a $1 to $1.5 move to the upside. If that's not going to offer, it's just a waste of time trading SPY here. They're just slowly melting up, not a trader's type of tape. This is, if they pull back rapidly towards this 531.57 and then start finding buyers there, that spike from 531.56 is what we are watching for when it comes to SPY. We'll give it some time. We'll see. We don't trade SPY here. We only trade QQQ. So we'll see. You said don't touch ADI today. Yeah, that is about adding more to the positions. Leave the initial positions on the table. There's no reason to add more. We'll add more tomorrow based off of how the market reacts. And if you want to add more, looking to add more, take a look at Dutch Bros and versus the $38 zone. We'll wait and see how it goes. And same with DPZ. If you want to add more, won't be a bad position to add more on DPZ either. And we'll wait and see how it goes. PayPal is not in our watch list today. We're not going to look into new names, especially 4 minutes into the market open. So once we're done trading with whatever we got on the watch list, after that, we'll go over it. PayPal is not a part of our plan. So for now, we got ADI, TDW, Domino's. What else we had? We had a bunch of other stocks like Snap, HPQ, and what's the other name? GPS, which is not ready yet. So we'll give those some time. And for now, main priority will be given to TDW, ADI, and DPZ into today, especially for swing trading positions. And for QQQ, 460.50 or 461.80. We need price. If it gets there, we're looking for a potential bounce for a long trade. No, Rodriguez, not for a put. Why will you buy put at support levels? It's for a long side. So we're expecting the price to tag this level and then give us a bounce to the upside. That is what we're expecting. We're not going to short this all the way down because it's a poor risk to reward trade, but we're looking for base hits. And the only plan which I have is if they come back towards this 461.50 or 460.50, those two zones, I'm interested in longing the tape for a quick bounce to the upside. And once we get it, we're out. We're done for the day sort of scenario. We'll come back tomorrow for that main big boy place. And today, most likely, the one thing which I have in mind is, are they going to front run it to keep it pushing back up to closest at the highs of the day into the data drop, or are they going to be like just chop around and close the day flat and then take it tomorrow sort of scenario? So we got to wait and see. Let's see how things play out. Final cut on car, they said somewhere near 27, even if we didn't get that. Oh, car, we just have runners. It's been a while since I looked at it. Carg is still looking good, man. So I would just leave it be. I would just leave the position alone. And if they get towards that, if you go to the charts, the daily charts on Carg, and anchor the first candle, go to the weekly charts and anchor the first trading candle. We are most likely that $27.40 is the AV coming from the IPO. That is what we need. That's the tag which we're looking for. Once they tag it, we're done. We're out. Because we're long on it since like $22. Right now it's trading at $26. So let the runners make the money for you. The trend is still to the upside, still above the positive 5-day. And we already covered the initial risk. We already covered make the second profit taking as well. Now leave the runners. You're either going to get stopped out on the runners, or you're going to close the entire position at 27.30 to 27-ish and change. Let it get there. It's fine. Learn to hold the winning positions on the portfolio. It's a good looking chart. Let it stay on your portfolio until it turns into a not so good looking chart. Simple. 230. Would be great, isn't it? $30 on Carg. What days do you do live streaming? To my server, I do it every single day. And to Chris Sainz, I try to post it like 2 to 3 days a week now. And don't apologize for asking question, AJ. That's why we're all here for. All right, so 1 more minute into the open. Let's hope for a few base hits into today. I'm not expecting much, but again, markets can surprise me. Let us see. The areas which I'm watching for on NQ is 18,980. If it can get there, well, good for us. We can just long the tape and run. Welcome back, Larry. Are the plays still on? Yes. Watch out for Dutch Bros into today. That's something which you're looking for. Depends on how they react around this $38 zones. If they pull back, we'll be watching. Watch out for dominoes here as well. Depends on how the price reacts around it today. We'll manage the positions accordingly. ADI gap down, but still looking good. We're going to give it a first 5 more minutes before entering anything, or we're not going to touch ADI into today regardless. Watch out for DPZ though. If you already added around that 516 zones, might be a good place for you to like consider averaging up, but let the 5 days starting to slope to the positive here. If you're going to average up here, your stop losses should be moved towards that 511.30 and change. What else? TDW, what are you doing? Okay, TDW is at an interesting spot as well. Watch out. We need price, we need buyers to step in right here, by the way, wherever they are right now on TDW, and then start bouncing up to recover the VWAP. Once they recover the VWAP, that is where you're going to go long. Let me grab my phone real quick. Okay, and keep pulling back. Give it a first 5 minutes. No reason to make any changes right now. All right, keep an eye out for TDW here. Dominoes pushing up here as well. Let's say once the TDW recovers the VWAP here, let the first 5 minute candle close. We're going to go long immediately. We're going to add more to average up and complete our positions on TDW. Good push on the Qs. I don't even know why do I have all this. That's unnecessary. Right, going to be interesting to see how the Qs reacts around this price point. About the VWAP with the first 5-minute candle close, and we'll handle it from there. Testing the overnight VWAP here. Watch out. All right, so we are bouncing on TDW. Let the first 5-minute candle closes. 2 more minutes to go. No positions established yet for QQQ or on SPY, on long SPY, by the way. We're just waiting for the swing trading positions, and we're going to give it a first 5-minute close to get the ORBs, and then we'll manage it accordingly down the road. Pushing up here on NQ. Most likely they're going to go to fill that gap at 464.80, but we'll give it some time. We are holding on towards that AV-VAP, the ER AV-VAP on ADI, and we're holding on towards that ER AV-VAP from TDW as well. So let's see how these things morph into. We're above the overnight VWAP on NQ. Let's see if the 15 minutes can close above it. Need ADI to recover the 5-day moving average here, by the way. All right, so first 5-minute candles was in, so mark the highs and lows as usual. This will be the ORB. Testing the VWAP, watch out here. Let's see if they can take out that 84s again. All right. Good push from the VWAP so far. Nice push on bros. Yep, indeed. Beautiful bounce. This is why you let the trend do the work for you. Beautiful candle on bros. Amazing. Give TDW some time, and same with ADI as well, and same with DPZ. rejecting the previous highs at 527s on DPZ. Let's see if they can recover the VWAP. They're holding on towards the VWAP on the Qs, and we got to wait and see if they can hold on to it and start pushing higher here. We need this to take out this ORB highs. Interested traders still don't see anything fantastic from the price action standpoint, so we're going to give it some time. Lots of volume at 90s, yep. Is that the POC? Is that almost like 1990s, more or less? Also coinciding with the ORB highs. It's going to be interesting. If they can pull back, the only level which I'm interested in buying this is at 18,980s if it's offered. Down we go. Yep. Wait for DPZ to recover the VWAP. No need to rush into anything right now. And let the Qs come back down towards this 461.80s around the zone yesterday's lows. Why do I have fucking GameStop here? What's going on there? Rejecting the 5-day. It's pinched between the 5-day moving average and the ERA VWAP. Let's see if they can recover it quick. That's just shopping around between the ORB. The only level which you're interested in buying Qs is if they get towards this low. Stay alerts is set at 461.80s, and there's another alert set at 460.60s, which will be 18,980s on NQs or 18,940s on the NQs to the downside. If it offered, we'll take it. If not, to the upside, we need it above the VWAP. We need a strong close above the VWAP before even considering. Let's not rush into anything yet. Just need one good trade. If it offered, we'll take it. If not, we're going to wait until it's offered. Under the VWAP so far. We'll see how this 15-minute candle close. I like long from 18. Yep. 18, you mean 89.80s? That's what we're waiting for. No. Wait for DPZ. There's absolutely no reason to rush into DPZ yet. I'll let you know. Like, you don't have to catch the exact bottom on DPZ to make money, by the way. So don't worry about it. If we just need it above that $526 again. We'll give it some time. By 11 o'clock, we'll come back to see where it's at and we'll decide if it's worth buying into or not. Until then, these are all swing trading positions, not day trading positions. So we don't really mind. DPZ has an ATR of $10, which means it can move either $10 to the upside or $10 to the downside. So missing out on $1 or $2 is not going to affect much from an entry standpoint. Because our target on the swing trade is at $540 to $560 to the upside. So $1 or $2 That's a margin of error which we can work with down the line. So not a big deal. We'll give it some time. Same with ADI. ADI is bouncing from the ER-AV VWAP here. And the only thing on TDW, which you're waiting for, is to see if they can recover this 103.63. The daily candle should close about this 103. That's all we need. Nothing much, nothing more. Yes, stop stays exactly the same. And if you want to, you can actually move the stops. It's at $520 or something. You can move your stop losses up to this $510, by the way. Move your stop losses on the runners towards this 510. If you have that one runner, whatever you got, move it to 510 and leave it right there. Because if they get back all the way down towards 510 again, then like we'll know that we're wrong and the trend is reversing. For now, leave it at 510. It will lose the 5-day moving average. It will break under the ER-AV VWAP, multiple confluences that they're actually turning around. Move it to 510 on that one runner, and we'll average up if they can take out this highs at 527s. If they take out 527s, we'll average up on the position and complete the same. For now, leave the current sizing on, and they are reporting, they are giving you dividends as well on 14. So that position, that runner which you got, which we entered somewhere around this 516s, should still be up, by the way. Should be up regardless of where you entered before. So for now, leave it be. We'll average up once they clear this 527 and take it all the way towards this 540s to the upside. Nice rejection. Come on, Qs. Give me that 461.70s. Struggling to hold the VWAP here. Now the ORB lows test. Here we go. 463.20s. Watch out. For swing trading positions, give all of it some time. No reason to rush into anything. No need to make any changes on anything. And for scalping or day trading, unless and until our levels are hit, we're not going to open anything. I'm not going to open anything. Let me make it clear. So I need that 18,980s to the downside for longs. If not, I need it to clear the ORB highs, which is currently at 19,084s and change. Setting up to be one of those choppy, boring days. So we'll see. We will have an evening session today, AJ. We'll talk more. Yep. 7 o'clock EST, 7 p.m. EST. So we'll have an evening session. So you can ask your questions right there. Or after 10 o'clock, I'll let you guys unmute yourself. So you can ask it right then. Okay, we are holding on towards that AV VWAP from the ER on ADI. What's TDW doing? TDW, the only thing which we care about is how this daily candle closes. Other than that, nothing else matters on TDW. Got our stop losses on, just initial sizing. If they pull back all the way towards this 102s and then start pushing back up and then recover this 103s, we are good with that as well. Watch here on the Qs. There we go. Down goes the dynamite. Give me that 80-cent Q. Come on, almost there. Yep, limited 89.80. Beautiful. We just need that wick tag and go sort of trade. That's what we're looking for. Let's see if we can get it. If we can get it, we can just long with a small position and then be done for the day. Almost there. It's just like what, 40 points away. Come on, almost there. There we go. Beautiful. Setting up. Watch out. 980s. Few more points down. The sooner it gives it to us, the sooner we can just end this and go on with our lives. Almost there. Just need a wick and go. Not a pair, it's NQ. We're talking about NASDAQ futures, which is QQQ's equivalent. We're waiting to long NQ or QQQ at around this when NASDAQ touches 18,980. That is all we're looking for. Still waiting. Let it come to us just a few more dollars down under. If it gets there, good for us. If it's not, well, who cares? I'm gonna wait until it gets to us. Yep, that's the first area, 461.60s to 461.80s. That's the zone which you're watching. Whatever the equivalent of that 18,980 is, which will be around that zone. Yep, 461.80 to 461.60s is what we're looking for. That's the first area. And the second area will be at 460.58. I don't like the bounce which they are giving it right now. I would have preferred a clean sweep sell off to the downside towards this 980s and then a bounce to the upside. It could have been nice 40, 50 point bounce, but we'll see. We'll give it some time to see how it goes. What is TPC doing? Averaging up. Yep, nothing is happening over there either. Nothing is happening with DPZ. Nothing is happening with ADI. And what's Bros doing? Nothing is happening with Bros. No need to make any changes on hood either. Card. No reason to make any changes over there. What has he got? Bros, card. Hymns. Yeah, no reason to make any changes on hymns either. So just leave the runners on whatever we got on the portfolio. Leave them alone for a while. Yeah, they're pulling back, but they're still above the 5-day moving average, so it doesn't make sense to make any changes. The only thing which I will be looking for is how ADI closes today. And if it takes out the stops, we can order stop losses and we'll get kicked out on ADI because it's like $2 or $3 away from our stop losses right now. Other than that, we have a nice little cushion on all the other names which we have on the watch list. So TDW, all we are looking for into today is if they can close above this 103s. That's it. Yes, because see, when you're trading options, what you need to do is like, especially if you're looking for reversals, you need a sharp sell-off to that pivot levels, which is at 18,980 without all these BS moves which you're seeing right now. A sharp sell-off towards this pivot, especially the better scenario will be them undercutting this pivot zone, like the sharp sell-off going all the way towards this 960. And then you buy this 960 right here, expecting them to recover this 980s and push all the way back up again. And especially if you're trading with options, we're talking about like 70 to 80 cent move in like a single candle when it comes to QQQ, by the way. So that's the type of trades that you need to be looking for if you're trading or scalping with options on QQQ or with NQ, regardless, especially if you're scalping. You need to know you're right immediately. You need to know you're wrong immediately. The one thing which I don't like, which doesn't do well with our system, is choppy markets, because we are trend-based traders, or we like to catch the reversal sort of trades. But let's say you go long on a reversal type of trade and it's not working out immediately, and it's time to just get out of it and look for repositioning down the line sort of scenario. So we'll see how it goes. Like, that would have been preferable instead of this bounce right here. But again, we don't always get what we want when it comes to the market. That's what we want, but again, we don't get always what we always wanted now, do we? So we'll see if we get that 461.70s, and it depends on how the price reacts around there. We'll take it and we'll handle it real time. If not, most likely we're going to see this 460.50. If you get stopped out on this 461.70 trade, the next trade will be at 460.50. That's going to be the next area of interest, which we'll be keeping an eye out for a potential bounce up now. We'll wait until like 10:30 or something. 10 by 10:30. If it doesn't give it to us, we'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow is a beautiful day. We'll be having a lot of volatility tomorrow, and we'll trade it tomorrow. Pushing up on TDW, holding the ERA VWAP on ADI. Let's see what DPZ is doing. Yeah, DPZ is still flat for now. All right, so watch out here. Come on, NQ, almost there. Just like 10 more points to the downside, and we can buy the wick off and take it all the way back up. Almost there. Limit order set at 89.80. Testing the 5-day on the futures. Small positions on NQ longs here. Just one contract, when the limit buy for the rest is set at 89.80s. Just a small position so far, and if they get to that 89.80, we will finish the positions. Just one contract at this moment. Nothing more, nothing less. I'll let you know when I average up. For now, just one contract in longs on MNQ will average up along the way as it continues to push up. The cost average on that is at around 19,022. 002, my bad. Still want that 980s, but this is the 5-day moving average as well. So just establish a small position here to test the waters, and we'll average up as they continue, if they continue to reverse back up from here. We'll give it some time. Let's see. Just testing the waters would have been great if we got that 980s. These types of bounces is what kind of like makes this 461.80 levels not so significant, because as I mentioned earlier, we need a tag and go. So we need to get far away from this price right now as soon as possible. That will be really, really great, instead of just chopping around here. So for now, it's looking constructive, but again, let's not get too out of ourselves. Nothing happened from the price. It moved like what, 20-30 cents away from us. So let's see. We need them to start pushing, and if they recover the VWAP, we most likely caught the lows of the day. But we need QQQ to clear this 463.20s to the upside, by the way. NQ finding buyers so far at the 5-day moving average. So let's see how this 15-minute candle closes. 2 more minutes to go. Anchor the VWAP to this lows right here. We need to see if the buyers who stepped in at 5-day are still making or losing money using that. Good bounce to the upside. Significant. Come on now. Let's recapture the VWAP right now from here. If the Q start bouncing and start clearing that 463.30s, we'll average up. It's a nice 30-point push to the upside for a base hit trade. Uh, this is for futures, Rick. We just established a small positions on the futures. And whenever I say I'm longing NQ, you can do it with like, whenever I say like start a position, it's just for one contract. So you can do it with QQQ or you can do it with NQ as well. And we'll average up along the way sort of trade. So for now, we're just in one contract on QQQ around from that 462 zones. And as mentioned earlier, we were looking for 980s, but again, they bounced from that 96. We got long at 19,002s. But for now, keep the sizing small because we need QQQ to clear above 463.30s because that's where the VWAP is. If they can, and that's where the opening drive ORB lows as well. If they can clear it, we'll manage it accordingly and we'll take care of it down the line. But for now, leave the one contract position on. Let them clear the VWAP. We'll be having more than enough time to long the same, to average up on the same down the road sort of trade. So we'll see how it goes. We still got like what, 5.5 more hours for the market close. And stops moved up to today's lows, by the way. Let's go. My same trend line I mentioned yesterday. I had to buy already. Yep, there you go. Easy. Light work. And that's where the 5-day moving average is as well, by the way, CP. So multiple confluences. Now anchor the VWAP from the lows of that candle. And if they come back towards this lows at 920s and find support and start pushing back up again, well, that's what we need to be looking out for. The target remains on this base hit trade at around this 463.20s to the upside. We need to clear this VWAP to the upside, by the way, before expecting any much upside moves. And here comes the VWAP test. Stocks moved up to break evens. Here comes the ORB. Interested traders who just want to close their positions can close their positions here because it's still a good move to the upside. And if you took it with options, that's still like almost like a $1.5 move to the upside from the entry. And interested traders who wants to average up on stay on the positions, well, wait for it. Wait for the 5-minute candle to close. Good bounce from the 5-day moving average on the futures and beautiful scalp. This is what I meant by base hits. Don't expect much from the markets into today, especially leading into a huge economic events tomorrow. So if you caught the base hits, lock your account, call it a day. Rejecting the VWAP here. Move your stop losses up towards this candle lows, like around that 462.80s if you got in. If you want to average up, well, wait for them to recapture the VWAP. Until then, don't do anything. Don't ruin your average. TDW holding on towards that VWAP, looking good. We're going to give it some time. Let's see. It's still working. We still have a nice cushion to the upside, almost like a 40-point cushion to the upside right now. Interested traders who wants to close this can go ahead and close the positions if you're just looking for a base hit into today. So, but if you want to looking to average up on the positions, well, you can, but totally up to you. Not yet, though. Not yet. Don't average up yet. Let the 5 minute candle close about the VWAP, and you'll be having more than enough time to do so. Is my point. You're still in that chop zone, by the way. Nothing has changed. If you look at the 15-minute charts on NQ, all we've been doing is stuck between the range of like 122s to that 980s. Just traded that bounce off of the 5-day moving average. That was a good bounce. If you want to average up, wait for it. Let the price tell you that it's ready. Good push to the upside. Trying to close about the VWAP here. Beautiful. Good reversal trade. We'll see how many more minutes to go. A minute more to go for this 5-minute candle to close. Interested traders, again, I'm gonna repeat whatever I said. Interested traders who wants to close the position can go ahead and close it. If you're interested in averaging up, wait for the 5-minute candle to close and see if they can close above this VWAP, and then we can take it from there sort of scenario. It doesn't matter what I do. It's up to you and your system. So still 40 points above your entry on NQ futures. And if it's like 40 points, if you're trading with it NQ, that's almost like $800 per contract, by the way. For MNQ, that's almost like $80 per contract. So if you got in with 4 or 5, that's an easy $400 with almost like risk of somewhere around 100 to 120 with the stop losses. So you still made a 3-hour trade. I was happy to close. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. If they continue to push up again, doesn't really matter. So you got your 3 hours, it's done. The goal of market is not to capture every single inch of it, because I see this question all the time, like, how will I stay longer in the position? Well, you don't know that. Like after the fact, if the market continues to push up, you only know it after the fact. You don't know at that point when you closed it. So for now, that's a good close on the 5-minute candle. So if you're still on the runners, watch out here if they pull back towards the VWAP and hold the VWAP and continue to push up. That is where you need to look to average up on the positions. Watch out for this 463.30. That's the ORB lows. The next area to look out for will be that 464s. Good bounce here, good trade. I am done for the day. I just closed my positions here as well. Lock my account, so no more trades will be taken from my end for today. And I'll come back tomorrow and then I'll make essential changes on the same account. Tomorrow is what we're looking for, and we'll handle it tomorrow. If you went long on QQQ, do what's best for your account. Nothing wrong in closing the entire positions, because it's still almost like 60-point move to the upside from our entry on NQ, which will be around, we entered somewhere around right here, 462.30s. Almost like $1.50 move to the upside on QQQ as well. And that move came by in back-to-back green candles. Option premiums would be gassing right now regardless. So manage your positions accordingly and we'll trade it down the road. That being said, I'll let you guys know if I make any changes on the swing trading positions. ADI is bouncing, and TDW is still holding on towards that AV coming from the earnings. DPZ is still above that 517s. That is good. And what else we got? Bros still looking absolutely great. There's no reason to make any changes with Bros either. Snap, is there anything good going on with Snap? No, Snap needs more time. HPQ needs more time. GPS needs more time. What else we got on the watch list? Hood, we're not going to talk more about Hood. We already went over it. We already went over HIMS. We already went over Carg. There's no reason to make any changes over there in any of them. Yep, that'll be all. So HIMS stop loss, let's go over it. Move your stop losses on HIMS towards this $20.50. 2050, move it there, and if it breaks it, well, they'll break the 5-day moving average as well, and we'll be having more than enough time to like make essential changes along the way. For now, move it to 2050, and if they break it under, get stopped out on the last few runners which we have on the table. But for now, leave the runners be. They're bouncing from the 5-day. No reason to make any changes. So I'm gonna AJ, I don't know if you're still here, so I'm just gonna ask you to unmute, and you can just ask your questions, whatever you had before right now.
Hey, you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering. I was at my mom's last night, and she bought some shares at Comcast, and she said to ask you guys, because I told her I've been, listen to group every morning, for a trading group or whatever, and because she heard they're supposed to be partnering with someone. I know you're more a technical analysis person rather than news, but um, I didn't know what to tell her on as if it looks good or not, or if there's anything wrong with it, or
All right.
on
So this is the
Comcast.
thing
I'm not
about
sure that.
news. So
Yeah.
just check the charts. Not the type of chart which we will trade, to be honest.
Okay.
Trend is to the downside.
Okay.
Momentum is to the
Okay.
downside. It's been on a
Thank
dominant
you.
downtrend when the broader markets are trading at all-time highs. A lot of things like we have a set of rules which we follow. This
Yeah, no,
chart
I'm not
goes
saying
against
she did this on her own. Yeah.
Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you asked her to buy it. So I'm just like saying we have a set of rules. This stock
Yeah.
goes against every single one of them. So
Okay. Okay.
I
I'll
don't
tell
know
her.
what news it'll be, or I don't know if the stock is going to go up. The point is, if it goes up, it can go up without
Yeah.
us, sort of thing, right? So we'll be having
Yeah,
more than enough time to
exactly.
buy this above this
If that,
$40 zones. Right now, it's nothing interests me with this chart right now. Like most likely, it might continue to drop to the downside from where it's how it's sitting at
okay.
right now. Because if you go to the daily charts on the Comcast, you can see it on my screen right now, which I have, and you can see it's just been range bounding between this $40 to this
Yeah,
$37 zones,
looks
back and
like it's
forth, back and
just
forth.
chopping up and down around, yeah,
Yep.
in
So
between that range you
mhm.
just said.
When did she buy this?
I am not sure what her price average is or when did she buy it, but should I tell her to, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to get rid of it, right? Or at least put a
Uh,
stop loss on
yeah, that'll be better because you
to
don't want
break
to
even or
tell her,
something?
yeah, you don't want to tell her to get rid of it yet. Because if she
Yeah,
got in like around this 37, $38 zones, you can just ask her to set the stop losses at 30, 36, $36.
30,
Yeah.
36.
So
Okay.
yeah, if they lose that, they'll be marching towards a new lows, and we don't need that to happen. We don't need to see that to happen. So the thesis
No,
here,
no.
yeah, if this is a accumulation phase where like you can see them just consolidating back and forth before making the push up, it's fine. Stay with the positions. But if they lose this lows right here, which they made after the earnings at around April 26th, if they lose that, you're going to know that you're wrong and you can just cut it and look for re-entry later sort of scenario. Again, I don't know about
Okay.
all these news. I don't care about all these news. It's just,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm like, you know how it goes.
yep.
She asked me and I said, I don't know. Haven't, I've heard the Comcast, but we haven't talked about that one. So,
Yep. I
but
totally
thank you,
understand, man.
Mario. I appreciate
Yep.
it.
No worries.
All right.
All right, can you explain EMA? EMA is nothing but exponential moving average, but it's just a tool to calculate the momentum of the X number of candles. If you're using 20 EMA, it's going to calculate the momentum for the last 20 candles, but more weight will be given to the last, like the new candles compared to that of the last few candles. For example, let's say you're using 20 EMA, and it's going to take the closing prices for the last 20 candles, but more weight is going to be given to the first 10 candles of that last 20 rather than the last 10 candles. The most recent candles is going to be given more importance rather than the last few candles of the same calculations. It's just going to tell you the momentum. If the EMA is sloping to the upside, it's just telling you the momentum for the X number of candles is actually to the upside. And if you see the 20, 50, 200 EMA sloping to the upside on the daily time frame, it's just telling you the momentum for the last 20 days, on last 50 days, and the last 200 days is to the upside. The stock is having a series of higher highs and higher lows. And if you're day trading in particular, and if you're using EMA as your tool as a strategy, for day trading and scalping, EMAs is better because they are not as laggy as SMAs. But for swing trading, I don't see the point of having this faster reacting indicators. So I personally use SMAs when I'm swing trading stocks. I only use SMAs to gauge the trend of the dominant timeframes on the daily time frame, so that like if the 20 SMA is sloping to the upside, 50 is sloping to the upside, SMA stands for simple moving average, where EMA stands for exponential moving average. So the simple moving average, as the name states, it's just the average closing prices for X number of candles. That's it. If you're using 20 SMA, it's just average closing prices for the last 20 candles. And that's how you get the line. If you see the 20 SMA sloping to the upside on a particular time frame, it's just telling you the last 20 candles of that particular time frame is momentum is showing positive signs, and vice versa. If you see the SMA sloping to the downside, it's just telling you the momentum for the last 20 candles is sloping to the downside. If you go to the Comcast chart right here in the bottom left corner, bottom right corner of my screen, the blue is the 20 SMA. You can see it sloping to the downside, which is just telling you the momentum for the last 20 days is to the downside. Same with the 50, the yellow line, which you can see it just free falling to the downside. It's just telling you the momentum for the last 50 trading days is to the downside and it's favoring the sellers. So whenever you see the declining 50 or declining 20, you can immediately like come to a conclusion that the stock has been in a dominant downtrend for the last 20 and 50 trading days. And which automatically comes to the point where like, okay, it's in a downtrend, I'm not interested, so I'm just going to stay away from it until the buyers take back control sort of scenario. Do you live trade like this every day? Keith, if you're a member of my server, we trade every morning. We go live every morning. So I try to post a link in the Chris Saints chat as well and on a day-to-day basis, but you get the recordings of the live stream every day, regardless of what server you're from. 60 SMA will be 60 candle. Exactly. There we go. Momentum for the last 60 candles, but more weight will be given to the recent candles, which was just formed rather than the last candles. There are 60 candles which has taken the momentum for, right? For the recent 10 to 15 candles, the more weight will be given compared to that of the last 45 candles on the same sequence. That's what EMA is, exponential moving average. Whereas SMA, you're going to see the same weight given to all 60 candles down the line, which makes it laggy in nature, which makes it like not so suitable for day trading or scalping. For ADI, what was the question? Is it okay to take ADI signal today? Yes, you can. Like, it's still a good looking chart. There's nothing wrong with ADI. There's nothing wrong with TDW. There's nothing wrong with DPC. But if you're going to take ADI today, your stop losses should be at 231. And if you're going to take DPZ today, I would suggest you to wait for them to recover the VWAP here. But if you're going to buy DPZ, if you have work and if you can't pay attention to much exact proper entries, if you're entering DPZ right here, your stop losses should be at 510. And if you're entering TDW, your stop losses should be at this lows right here at 100. So make sure to use the position sizing tool, which you find in my server, so that like you're not risking, even let's say tomorrow after the news event, the overall market just collapses like 2% to the downside. And if the market collapses 2%, well, guess what these stocks are going to do? These stocks are going to fall apart as well. By fall apart, which means like you're going to see them gap down as well. Even if the worst case scenario happens, even if all these three names stops you out at the exact same time, your entire account shouldn't be down more than 2.5%, by the way. It happens. You're going to get stopped out on a lot of trades. This is where position sizing comes in. So even if you get stopped out on all these three names all at once tomorrow morning, as soon as the market opens, the maximum your account should be down is no more than 2.5%. That is how you size your positions. So look into it, size it properly. There is no reason to go heavy on anything, especially into a data drop. It doesn't matter how much money you'll make if you're right, by the way. You don't have control over that. The only thing which you have control over is how much money you will lose when you're wrong. So focus on the things which you have control over. Everything else sits right back in place. You're saying I need to be a member? Hey, I'm not saying anything. So if you're a member of Chris Saints, you're still going to get the link, but sometimes I just forget to post the links over there. So if you want it on a daily basis, so feel free to join. You're always welcome. And VWAP, okay, VWAP stands, I'm just going to start with what it stands for. It stands for volume weighted average price. As the name suggests, do you remember how I said in moving average, they only calculate the closing prices of each candles? And SMAs doesn't care about the volume. But VWAP, as the name suggests, it's going to take price into account, it's going to take volume into account, and it's going to take time into account. The normal VWAP which you see on your screen, it's just calculated from morning 9:30 when the market opens to evening 4 when the market closes. So that is the only time frame which the VWAP is useful for. From morning market open to market close. The next day when the market opens, you're going to see a new VWAP. The VWAP doesn't have price memory in them. So what the VWAP tells you is, let's say for now, take QQQ, for example. QQQ is trading above the VWAP. What does it tell you? What it is tell you is the average buyers who bought this opening candle. If the price is trading above the VWAP, it's just telling you the average buyers is making money. If the price is trading under the VWAP, all it's telling you is the average sellers are making money. So when the price is above the VWAP, once the price crosses over the VWAP, you typically look for long-based trades which is to the upside. And when the stock price is trading under the VWAP, you can just say like, okay, the sellers are in the control of the trend. So I'm just going to be cautious before buying anything. So just going to tell you who's in control and who is making money. Is the average buyers are making money, or are the average sellers are making money? If the price is trading above the VWAP, average buyers are. If the price is trading under the VWAP, average sellers are. That's how you need to look at these VWAP apps, by the way. Volume, weighted average price. It's going to take the volume, it's going to take the price, and it's going to take the time. That's how the VWAP is calculated. Talked about maybe a discount for one of the lives. I don't know if anything happened. That discount is unfortunately over, Heather. So I'll let you know if we open another one down the line, but maybe by next month, maybe for any events which we have, I will let you know. The pricing, I'll send you the link. You can check it out on your own. So let's, I don't want to, we have like 3 different tires. So whatever suits you, you can pick it up. Should I buy 50 shares of what is game? What is game? Are you talking about GameStop, Gregory? It's game, a ticker. Are you talking about this or, oh, GME? I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. This is not the type of stocks which I trade. I tend to avoid these types of names like a plague. If you're going to trade this, one thing you got to ask yourself, let's say tomorrow morning something happens and the GameStop opens at $17 and continue to fall all the way towards $10 to the downside, how much money are you going to lose from a percentage basis to the overall portfolio? You said, like, should I buy 50 shares of TME today or one contract at $1,000? Let's say the GameStop goes completely against you, didn't work in your favor, and you lose all this $1,000. How much percentage of your entire portfolio is at risk? Is it more than 2%? If it's more than 2%, you have no business in buying this in the first place, by the way. So again, it's your money. You can do whatever you want. But if you're looking to be consistent with the markets, you need to approach it from the risk standpoint. You need to ask yourself how much I will lose if it doesn't go in my favor, rather than, oh, if it goes in my favor, I would just flip this $1,000 to like 20,000. You don't know that. You don't know that. But if it goes against you, you're going to lose like what? 80% of the account, for example, let's say. There's no point in taking that trade in the first place. So put the risk first, you'll see performance follow altogether. But again, this is not the type of charts which I trade. This is not the type of charts which I associate myself with in any way, shape, or form. Too risky for me, and I'm not going to put my 6 to 7 months worth of progress in jeopardy just because I felt greedy to capture like once in a lifetime sort of move. I'm not the type of trader, and you're asking the wrong guy for an opinion on GameStop. It's too risky for me, and it's not my type of setup. And if you're going to trade this, I would just say don't risk more than 2% of your account. If it goes up, great, you're going to make money. But if it goes down, what's the worst case scenario? You wouldn't lose more than 2% of your entire account. So position yourself that way, size your positions that way, so that like even on the worst case scenario, your account, the overall account won't be down more than 2%. Even if it gaps down, even if it stops you out, even if the worst case scenario happens overnight and things completely goes against you, sort of thing. As long as you size your positions in that way, I don't have anything against people trading this. I just don't like when people like put in their entire life savings in one stock and then completely goes against them and start blaming hedge funds for their own incompetence. So pay attention to the sizing, you'll be fine. This needs some work, but I would be more comfortable buying this above this $31 zone, $31.50 to $31.80. If it gets there and if it holds above it, we can take it from there towards as high as at $40. But for now, let's see how it reacts. Let's see how it behaves. If they pull back towards this $20, it'll be great. Another opportunity, which is the 50-day moving average. And yeah, I like it more at around this $18 and $19 zones rather than right here. But if they want to continue to push higher, I want this about $32 before establishing positions. And if you averaged up on the QQQ, you should be out of all your positions for now. You can see the wicks on every single candles, which on the 5-minute time frame. Sellers are stepping in over and over and over again. If you averaged up, consider closing it and calling it a day. It's still a great trade from the lows. And even if you haven't closed it, you should still be up almost 70 points on NQ to the upside. Try to close it, try to call it a day. And the TDW is pushing back up again. Interested traders who wanted to average up on this position can do so with stop losses moved up towards this 101.60s. This is for TDW. Anyone who got involved with this name yesterday who are willing to average up can do so right here at this level, by the way, something to keep in mind. ADI is bouncing back up again. Dominoes, give it some time. We'll give it some time before adding more. TDW, interested traders who wants to average up on the same can consider doing so. And for QQQ, close your options, call it a day. Still a good trade from this 462, almost like a $2 move to the upside. Even if you didn't capture most of it, we captured at least like 70 to 80% of this move. Still a good trade in the books, base hit. That's all we're looking for. We'll come back tomorrow morning and we'll deal with the real volatility tomorrow. For TDW, if you averaged up, move your stop losses towards 101.60. And if it's your first positions, keep your stop losses at 99.80s. Let's say you entered a small position yesterday and you're averaging up today to complete your positions, move your stop losses up towards this 101.50. And if it's your first starter positions, which are just opening today, your stop losses should stay right here at 99.50s and change. Why enter SPY? Why now, Rodriguez? SPY almost hit our entry price, huh? Like just bounced away like 50 cents higher. If you want to enter SPY today, let me see. Let's mark the lows. If you want to buy SPY, wait for them to retrace back towards this $532.89. If they pull back towards this level and start bouncing, that's going to be the entry price for the same. Still looking great. We're testing the ORB highs right here. And if we go to the 5-minute charts on SPY and mark the highs and lows of that first 5-minute candle. Let's do the same here. So either wait for them to come back towards this $533.40 to see if the buyers are stepping in, or wait for the VWAP test to go long. Yeah, it's not my type of setup. You should have long this. Again, I feel like an absolute dumbass saying this. You should have did this right here. It's duh, right? But we took the trade on QQQ. It's almost like similar price action, but better longs would have been right here when they tested this 432.30s to 432.40s. It's almost like a $1 move, but right here, I don't see a good risk to reward. Doesn't mean they can't keep going higher. It's just a point of where will you set your stop losses. I'm looking at it from an ES standpoint. Where will you set your stop loss if you open a new position here? And are you going to set your stop losses right here at 532? So you'll be risking $1.60. Do you believe that they're going to move like $3 to the upside from here to close the day at the highs of the day? Is it possible? Possible. If you want to take that risk, you can take it. But again, it's not setting up to be a trend day so far. It's just setting up to be one of those choppy days. But let them come back towards the VWAP, yeah? So give it some time. If they come back towards the VWAP at 533 and start finding buyers and start bouncing higher, you'll get a better entry with better stop losses with a low risk entry there. So you'll know that you're wrong immediately, so you can just cut it for a small loss, or you'll know that you're right immediately and you can just make quite a bit of money. And for bros, for SPY, either buy the VWAP test again or just leave it alone. Okay, if you want bros, you can move your stop losses up towards this 5-day moving average, by the way. Let's see. Hold up. 5 days at 38. You can move your stop losses up on bros towards 37.30s or 37.20s. Right now, keeping it at 33 is too low. Too low. So move your stop losses towards this 37.20s. If you go to the 15-minute charts, you can clearly see the lows, which was made at around this Friday 7th when we actually entered this trade. Move it towards 37.20s, and if they break it, they'll break the 5-day moving average. They'll break this highs at 38.40s, multiple confluences. And if you enable the pre-market, I believe that's what the lows which they made was. The lows which they made was right here, $36. Oh my. All right, so move it towards 37.30s and leave it there, and we'll take it from there. How do I set up VWAP and Thinkorswim? I have the video, Rodriguez. I'll send it to you once the meeting is done. All right. That being said, all our swing trading positions are coming back up, so there is nothing much to do right now. So we'll wait until tomorrow to see if something. Tomorrow is the day which we are actually want to trade something good. Today we got some base hits, so I made like what $130 per account. So for like 4 accounts, which will be around 500, yeah, $480, around $500 a day. So I'm happy with where I stand with the futures account today. So I'll just lock my entire account, and I'll come back tomorrow and we'll go medium sizing and take some good trades. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And the recordings of this video will be available by today evening if you want to go back and go over whatever happened. And I will see you guys in the evening session. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day. Try not to overtrade, so save some money for tomorrow.